welcome back to the SUPES channel. My name is Matthew Ramos, and on this channel I am to entertain, inform, and inspire using the topic of discussion as always, which is superheroes. So guys, here we are back again, once again, to talk about Spider-Man Miles Morales. A recent clip from Spider-Man Miles Morales was released showcasing a lot more of the Rhino boss fight, and I think it brings up some very interesting questions, and it's something I definitely want to break down and talk more about. So that's what we're going to do in today's video. Right before I get into today's video, guys, right now I'm doing a giveaway over on my Instagram, and I'm giving away one of these luxury Spider-Man watches. So make sure to head over to my Instagram, _SUPES_, check me out and enter to get those giveaway details and potentially win a luxury Spider-Man watch from Meister Watches. Now, without further ado, let's get into today's video and break down the Rhino boss fight from Spider-Man Miles Morales. So you guys can see here, it says, first look at J. Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man Miles Morales. It's a 1 minute and 19-second clip, but let's check it out. Shout out Game Informer for continuing to give us new looks at Spider-Man Miles Morales. And here, alright, so guys, we saw the other clips. I broke them down in my past video. It was like 17 minutes long. And I broke down all of the clips so far that we've seen for Spider-Man Miles Morales. So if you haven't checked out the video, make sure to go check it out. But we've been seeing clips here and there of this Rhino boss fight. This has been their biggest marketing move. And oh my gosh, just look at this from beginning to end. I think we can all see how much more creative the boss fights are going to be in this game than they were in the previous game. In the previous game, the boss fights were basically just you and the villain in the room, and then you would either have to throw stuff at them to stun them, and then go up and then start punching them, and then that you would basically just do that like three to five times, and then the boss fight is over. But here, with this Rhino boss fight, we can see how much more interactive it is. We can see the change in environment and the way this fight traverses throughout the entire city. 1 second they were, in the streets where Rhino got out of the cage. The next second, Peter's getting sauced up and Miles has to take out Rhino. And now we see Miles riding Rhino with Peter swinging around in the middle of a mall, destroying stuff left and right. And then later on in this clip, you guys will see that there's a look. Just look at this. Like, Miles is riding Rhino. Peter is swinging over there in the background, and Peter is like, look at this, where Peter picks up the train. Just, the boss fights look so much better, so much more interactive. And here we get, of course, a little comedic look at J. Jonah Jameson in a Santa Claus suit. Things aren't looking good for J. Jonah Jameson, but the Spider-Mans are crashing the party, and I'm loving every bit of it, man. But look, here we get to see the boss fight change the setting once again. Now Rhino is in the city. Now you're chasing Rhino as he's running down the streets. He's jumping on top of bridges. We're going to see in a bit here, Rhino starts throwing stuff. And look, going in between buildings like this. Like, these are things we really wanted to see from the first game, but didn't really get a lot of. So, man, just seeing the way these boss fights are transitioning and becoming so much bigger than just a singular room. These boss fights are going throughout the entire city. They're going through malls. They're going through, streets. They're going through everywhere. And I think what that does to the game is that it puts it on a much higher scale. It puts the game on a much higher scale because now it feels like the boss fights are actually doing damage to the entire city. Like, there's stakes. So, man, I'm just loving everything we're seeing from this game. And I hope that with the other villains that this game has, the boss fights are very similar to what we see in this Rhino boss fight. Because, again, I'm going to go back to the other clips that we've seen from Game Informer. And the other clips we've seen so many different settings. Look, this is another different setting. Wait, let's wait for this ad. But this is another different setting that we see a part of the Rhino fight take place. Come on. Look, see? Like, this is a completely different place, and Miles is fighting Rhino once again. I think this is deeper into the fight. I think this is where we actually, finish off Rhino. But you can see, it's a lot darker. It's in the afternoon, whereas in the other clip, it was, during the day. Now it's in the afternoon, so this is a lengthy boss fight. And it looks like it's going to take you to multiple different places. And now it all leads up to here, where Miles has to step up and take on Rhino by himself without the help of Spider-Man. But I'm going to go back to this last clip that they just released because I'm just loving how how Insomnia Games is continuing to innovate and be creative with their game and with their boss fights. Again, one of the criticisms that their last game got was that their boss fights were very bland. They were very simple. This doesn't look bland. This doesn't look simple. This looks fun. This looks intense. And this looks like it's going to be a lengthy boss fight that gives you a lot to do. Like, there's going to be so much to do. And I love how we're seeing more of traversing through the city. Like, seeing Miles go throughout that mall. Or seeing him, you know, right here we see him literally go, like, traverse through a building. So seeing more stuff like that is something that I really love to see. And man, it's just like they've taken the boss fights to a whole nother level. I've been saying it since day one that this is going to be better than the first game. This is going to be better than the first game because they're taking everything great from the first game and enhancing it by 10. So, dude, I can't, man. I can't. So good. Another thing I wanted to talk about is that Prowler is basically confirmed for this game. When you hear Spider-Man Miles Morales getting his own video game, you know that they're going to have to include Prowler. He's been my most anticipated villain for this game because he just has such a deep connection to Miles, because he's literally his blood relative, Uncle Aaron. That's Prowler, and man, I just, after witnessing the first game, and you know, of course, we saw the relationship between Peter and Otto Octavius and how they really bonded and how they were like Peter looked up to Otto, and then Otto just turned for the worse, and then it all came down to a very emotional battle at the end of that game between Peter and Otto Octavius. But that relationship carried so much weight. It made the game and the meaning behind everything that was happening so much better. The emotional intensity was through the roof. And I think they could really do something special with the relationship between Miles Morales and Uncle Aaron, especially after the fact that Miles' dad died in the first game. Jefferson Davis died. So now Uncle Aaron could literally be that father figure to Miles. And this was a recently released screenshot from the game where we see Miles' contacts on his phone and Uncle Aaron is there. Uncle Aaron is there. And it's hard not to think that they won't do Prowler in this game because it's a Miles Morales video game, and for them to replicate, not necessarily replicate, but for them to do the relationship between Miles and Uncle Aaron and have that build up to Miles literally fighting his uncle, his blood relative, who he loves deep down. It's going to tear him apart the same way Peter was torn at the end of the first game when he was fighting Otto Octavius, the guy that he looked up to and the guy that also destroyed his life and fell into corruption and madness. I just think because they did that relationship between Peter and Otto so well and it carried so much emotional weight, I think now looking forward to the relationship between Miles and Uncle Aaron, I think they could, you know, intensify the emotional weight between that relationship because they're actual blood relatives. Like, this is Miles going up against his uncle, his family. So, I cannot wait for this game. This Rhino boss fight looks fantastic. Prowler is basically confirmed for the game because there's no way Uncle Aaron's involved in this game and he's not going to be Prowler. So guys, with that being said, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of this new look at this Rhino boss fight and the way Insomniac continues to innovate and improves their Spider-Man games with the boss fights, and just, you can see the difference between the boss fights from the first game and the boss fights, or the only boss fight we've really seen in Spider-Man Miles Morales. And you can see how they've made the game just so much better than the first game. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think about the Rhino boss fight in the comment section down below. And also, let me know what you think of Prowler being confirmed for Spider-Man Miles Morales. Let me know in the comment section down below. Guys, make sure to enter over there on my Instagram, _SUPES_ and enter for a chance to win this Spider-Man luxury watch. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.